G'day everyone. I trust you're really encouraged in this series we're doing right now called Extraordinary. Now it's caused me to think of a number of different people throughout the scriptures, people that we would probably look at and say they're quite unlikely or they're unqualified individuals. What it's reminding me as I kind of think about many of these people is that God does some amazing things. In fact, He does extraordinary things to accomplish His amazing purposes through some of the most unlikely of individuals. You know, this weekend, as we were talking about this nameless young girl who had been carried off into captivity by these Syrian raiders, people coming from the land of Aram, they were. And here is this young girl, she's now in this land and, you know, she's a nobody. She's nameless. Everybody had forgotten about her, but God hadn't forgotten about her. And at the right time, she was prompted by God to speak back into the life of Naaman through Naaman's wife to remind him that there was a prophet back in the land of northern Israel, a prophet by the name of Elisha, that might be able to help Naaman in his time of need. You know, people like this nameless young girl thought of another young lady or a woman by the name of Tabitha. It's in the book of Acts chapter 9. And we don't know much about her either. In fact, it's a little bit like this young girl in the Old Testament. But for Tabitha, we know her name, and we know in Acts chapter 9 these words are kind of spoken over her life. I'll just read this to you. It says that this young woman, or this woman, she was always doing kind things for others. Acts chapter 9, verse 36. She was known for helping the poor. You know what, there's this nameless young girl and then there was this woman called Tabitha who were kind of doing their part. They weren't known for many other things, but they were willing to do the one thing that they could do to make a difference in the lives of other people. You know, I was just thinking today as well too about the disciples. It's probably not one of us who are watching would have ever selected that group of men to be a part of the A-team for Christ's ministry team. We would have been looking for other people, but He chose them because He could see in them their potential and what they would do in terms of carrying His mission beyond His own lifetime. And so I suppose I want to encourage you, wherever you might be today, to be thinking about what is it the one thing that you can do? You know, what is your do at this particular point in time? You know, it might be something that you're aware of this week that God's calling you to do. Maybe it's something that's coming that you're going to become aware of. But God does some of His best work through the most unlikely or unqualified individuals. Men and women who are available and ready to be used by Him to do what He is calling them to do. You know, a number of years ago I was reading a book and there was a line in this book that really struck me and it has stayed with me throughout my entire life. And this person, as they were reflecting on their life, they said it's not great men or women in this world who changed this world, but rather it's weak people, weak individuals in the hands of a great God. And so as I read the story of this nameless young girl, as I think about Tabitha, and even as I think about the disciples, it reminds me time and time again that what God delights in doing is He delights in taking people that the world often overlooks and says, you know what, through that person, I'm going to do something amazing. I'm going to accomplish my divine purposes in and through that person. And it's no different today. And so I hope that as you're going about your work this week, you're thinking about, well, God, how might You use me? I'm open and I'm available to do what You want me to do and just be faithful in that. And so I want to encourage you, be faithful in the small things, because it's often in those small things that we overlook that God takes and He uses in profound ways to change people's lives, to change the spiritual destinies of families. It changes the course of history in and through sometimes these very small things that we do. What is it that you need to do? You know, only you can answer that. What is your do? I trust you're thinking about that this week as you're going about whatever it might be that you're doing as a follower of Jesus.